All right, and we are back potentially officially.
Hopefully.
Billy Willing, NT Esports League, League of Legends, round
All right,
2, match 3. We have got it. Third attempt.
let's go. We're getting the stream going. It's on the way. We'll get it sorted shortly.
Casuarina
Bear with us,
gentlemen,
fellas.
FF.
Yeah, we got Casuarina Gentleman going up against FF. The game is just about to start.
Yeah, start it when
I
ready,
would,
guys.
yeah,
We're a
we'll
bit
just,
behind.
yeah, no worries.
It should be good now.
Just
Albeit
making
here
sure
just in
the stream is
case.
going well. We want you guys in here. We want you guys to see the game.
Yeah, it'll
So
kick in a minute.
hopefully,
In 1 minute.
yeah,
40 seconds.
hopefully you guys can get in and we'll watch this game. Should be an interesting one.
Alrighty. Now, as you mentioned earlier, couple new teams coming in here. Corruption sounds like a familiar name. Superman sounds like a familiar name. Bin Laden sounds like a familiar name. These are names that I've heard around the Darwin scene in my social spectrum
Yeah.
before.
So I tell you
Interested to
what,
see
I
what they're
think yeah,
going on.
I think you've heard these names because these guys have been standout players in the last couple of weeks. Bin has just been playing like out of his mind in the top lane, and Frog Spot has just been like camping top, doing he's like rivaling Kirateen on like his level of jungling at the moment, as well as Conditioner. He's been around here for a while. I believe he used to play on Destiny a long, long time ago. Has broken off. He's got some of the boys back together, and they've been playing some pretty good games too. So it should be good to see these guys get back to it. I'm excited to see how they go up against a relatively new team, which is FF. Corruption is, I think, the returning player from that one. When they get going, they do seem to pop off. Corruption, I forget the team they played on last year, but he's been like quite the leader and pretty active in scrims and stuff like that. So can't wait to see where these games lead us.
Alrighty, just doing a ready check here, seeing if everyone's ready to go. About to jump into Champ Select.
Sorry
Any
for all the
spicy picks
technical
we're expecting?
difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm not too sure about these teams. Just because some of these players are like a bit newer and new teams, I think we're gonna probably lean a bit closer towards some comfort picks. So we'll have to just see how that draft phase starts.
All right, who we got our eyes on this time? Who's going to be the star players of the game here? Who are we expecting to step up to the plate? Who's the pinch batter?
All right. So if I'm looking at these teams, corruption for sure. He has just like I think his name is named after his Shen Smurf account, but I don't think he plays that much Shen anymore. He's actually been playing mid lane for these guys and been playing it pretty well too. So I'm expecting him to have a pop off performance. When FF have lost their games, they corruption has usually been the standout. I believe he played the Cassidon last week, and that's the Cassidon ban in return for him. And that was like the only lane to get ahead last week, so that'll be interesting to see as well. Also on the other team, I think Conditioner and Bin are the ones to keep your eyes on. Bin's like a pretty strong top laner. He plays the fighter, brawly types, and Conditioner's been a pretty consistent ADC. So all across the board, I think these teams are also pretty even, but that's what I've said every night to every game tonight. We'll see how true that actually is. Got a couple bans coming out. Like we said, the Caston being banned from
Interesting.
corruption.
Interesting.
And
We're
there's
seeing
the
the
Singe
target
ban.
bands. We're seeing the
So
target bands.
I think it just clicked for me. I think Ben was the one that played Singe last week.
Indeed.
Um, So that will be interesting. They were removing that because no one wants a bar of Singed. Even when he's not ahead, he's so annoying to play against. He just runs away from you. What are you meant to do against that? So frustrating.
I wanted to see a bit more out of that Singe the other week as well. I was really hoping to see a double lane proxy. I was really hoping to see something nasty come out. But he
Yeah, he
dropped
really got ahead with it.
the proxy about midway through the game, so I was really hoping to see something nasty. But unfortunately, we don't get to see it this game.
Yeah, I believe that was against me. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating to have to just like try and farm your wave and wait for your jungler to come and then maybe get a gank off and Meanwhile, he's flashed away from you and running away. You're in his poison, and all your minions are in tower. It's just such a frustrating gem to play against. But he really needs to get ahead to have any sort of presence late game, where he's just tossing people over his head. Um, we've just got the bands are about finished. We've got some picks coming out, and Caitlyn coming out first for the side of Casuarina Gentlemen.
Interesting, super interesting. If you look at this champion, where it holds up in the actual spectrum of ADCs, this is actually incredibly low. Actually, it is in the dog tier of ADCs. We're talking fifth tier, sixth tier. This is the bottom of the pack. So this is definitely someone's comfort pick.
Yeah,
So
Caitlyn is actually NT esports special, NTGE special. It is just it's just like pretty reliable. She can output enough damage, and she has a lot of poke. Surprisingly, the ADC champ pools aren't huge. I think Ardmona maybe has the biggest champ pool of all the ADCs in the tournament. So we see the Caitlyn pretty often. We see the Vayne pretty often. Things like the Jinx and the Ashe. We don't see much new stuff like Zaya, Jin. I don't think we've had any Samira, anything like that yet. So. I'm really waiting for the day we get one of those.
I was
Now,
really hoping for some more Ezreal games, some more maybe Twitch or maybe even Draven. Someone brave enough to play Draven on the new
no
patch
one's
with
brave
the
enough to
buff.
Drave.
Step up to the plate, somebody.
The something interesting that's happened. We've talked about this a few times on the cast. So yeah, I'm not sure if you were there for those streams, Cam, but they've FF have gone for the Leona first pick, which we just kind of despise on the caster desk. Thankfully, they haven't been punished for it today. But when you first pick Leona, and you haven't banned Morgana, it's like you could just int your lane at that point. Leona can literally do nothing against a Morgana spell shield.
True.
But maybe it's not in Superman's champ pool. They've gone for the Nautilus, which is just as aggressive bot laner. So it's interesting to see how that comes out against the Varus Leona. Was
When you
Varus was
do
just
pick the
nerfed?
Leona, I do want to mention, I just want to jump in really quickly.
Mhm.
This is to completely free up the rest of the team that they are playing red side. Yes, they do have the unfavorable pick side of this champion select. So picking the Leona, this must be an absolute comfort pick for support. They're absolutely 100%, no matter what they're running into, Leona, they're going to be able to actually do something with it, whether it's the early game or the late game there. And that gives priority over to their other lanes there to try and at least counter pick or get some sense of priority in their picks. So I'm really expecting to see something hot out of the top lane as well as the mid lane here.
Yeah, they're definitely holding it. I think Bin wants to try and get this last pick if he can. They're gonna have to give it up for mid, but looks like they're gonna go up with the Cho'Gath, which is a good pick because he can go anywhere. So nicely drafted by FF there. Yeah, as Varus was nerfed last patch. Is that right?
I am not sure if he was nerfed. I almost feel like he was actually buffed
Oh, really?
in the
Okay.
last couple patches there. I could be very wrong. As an
Yeah,
ADC, I really should be keeping up with who's hot, who's not. But
I have seen him sneak up in, a couple more solo games recently. So, and he's just doing dumb, strong virus stuff where he just autos you 3 times and drops 2 abilities on you, and suddenly your health bar is missing. So,
big stinky damage, yeah.
yeah, hopefully we can see Leona get him ahead and just see him get some absolute stonker Qs and pop some of this enemy team down. Bin Laden
Oh,
going for the Kennen. Actually, hard to say. Kennen and Nocturne can both mid lane and top lane, so interesting to see where they'll pick out. But
I am loving this champion select. So I am expecting the most flavorsome game of today. Both of these teams love hard engage. Both of them want to be up in the bits and gits
oh,
of their enemy.
with
All
the
of them want
Galio
to
too.
be in there. There is
Yep.
not one person except the ADCs, mind you, that actually want to be outside of the engage range. All of them are going to be in there throwing hands with each other. Darwin specialty. I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah, interesting one. I think they're gonna put this Galio mid. Maybe not. Uh, Cho'Gath. I'm expecting those two to swap now. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
So the Galio is a great pick. When you see the cannon, it's like you really start to worry because that champ could just start outputting so much damage when he presses R, and he'll just shred your backline and the team fight there. But when you have Galio, as soon as cannon comes in, you can just press R on over who he's engaging and just land on top of them. It just like stops any engage from the enemy team. I love that pick against the cannon. Um, these
exactly.
and the Nocturne, yeah, went mid lane with the cannon top lane, which is probably preferable for the cannon. Interesting
Yeah,
for the Nocturne. I think the
I mean,
Nocturne has the advantage against the Galio. He just has more base damage, and Galio takes a little bit more to scaling and to get some of these items before he can really start doing much damage.
and he's got a lot more room to roam as well. Remember that if you're sticking him in the mid lane, he has both priority over both top and the bottom lane. He can go wherever he wants to. He can even go
Yeah,
into the
exactly right.
jungle. It doesn't matter at that point. He's not going to be fishing out for the CS because he doesn't have that priority. Galio's going to have the push easily into him. The kit is just built there for him. So, and to Bin Laden's credit, like usually Cannon is the one that has to engage in these kinds of team comps. Wherever he's gonna be the third or fourth person that's really into these fights. So we're gonna be seeing a late lockdown of the entire team on the red side. So I am I cannot wait to see the 5v5s in this. This is just gonna be absolutely sensational.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, definitely just like full team fighting. I think bot lane's gonna be a fiesta. Both the mid laners, yeah, like just gonna be ulting all around the map, and should see some spice from the top laners. Whether or not Cho'Gath can actually get onto Cannon to get the eat, and whether Cannon actually has the damage to kill Cho'Gath as well, should be interesting. We'll just have a quick peek in chat. Thanks everyone for coming back. Sorry for our delays here. We just had some technical difficulties with the stream and stuff. Chris Jarrett is saying Virus was nerfed a little bit, not too much. He's still A tier. That's good to know.
Uh,
Yeah, I thought I saw some little buff nerf for him this week.
Thanks for pointing
And
that out. I've been playing way too much Senna to even recognize that. Even after the nerf, I have been blindly shoving that straight through my main account and losing far too much elo. Thank you, Chris Strider, for pointing that
I think it's the Nelson I see in the chat. What's up, Nels? What's going
out.
on, man? We are about to get this game started. We've got 45 seconds left on the spectator delay.
Who are we looking at?
If
Who
you
is the main
had to
people to keep eye on?
guess, yeah, it's a hard one. I think Akatsuki on this Kane could really be a difference maker. I think if he gets red Kane this game, they might just he might be unkillable. I'm not sure they'll have enough damage to actually finish Kane off. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah,
Also Malix, whether or not he can get some important roams off and put himself really ahead, will be a big difference maker. If he has like prior ganking bot, because if he gets on top of the virus or the Leona, he has the spell shield to stop himself from being burst down or being stunned kind of by Leona as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I
yeah.
I I'm not too sure who I would call for this one. I think you're right. I think it is going to come down to the team fights for this one. But if I forced you, if I held you down and I told you to choose, who are you gonna choose?
I would say, without knowing who these teams are in terms of strength, I don't know their history very well. Haven't been able to see their matchups previously in the last few weeks. I would definitely be going with Team Bin Laden, Casuarina Gentlemen, just for their sheer both engage as well as their secondary engage with that cannon in that mid team fight stage to lock it down. I have a feeling if they play it right, they have a perfect opportunity. But looking at for fun coming in, 5 men running, they are absolutely determined. We're seeing a million pigs coming into that tri-bush. I don't
Yep,
think I
Kennen
don't think he's
passing
gonna be
towards the
ready.
top.
He's not ready.
Yeah.
Nautilus is gonna catch this. Oh, they've slowed
Oh
down. They've slowed
no.
down.
They're
Oh
waiting. They're
no.
waiting by the brush too. As soon as Nautilus gets in there, he's
Ah.
walking straight back out. Yeah,
And
unfortunate. I don't think they
oh,
know the wards there. Obviously, they didn't see Nautilus. There is counter gag possibility, but they are missing a member, so I imagine they just walk out of this.
it will
Yep.
probably be resulting in a couple words dropped in the blue side and then defaulting
I've
back to
been
their
absolutely
standard
busted. Look, they're
positions.
gonna wait here on this ward too. They don't know it's water. There's no red sweeper on the side of FF, but they're just gonna walk back. They have no idea. Gonna walk over a third ward. It's been put down on the side of Casuarina, gentlemen. Unfortunate. I do like to see the spicy, level 1 fiestas, but not today it seems. I think
Sensei.
Cho'Gath might actually get to lane a little late. It depends how fast he gets there, but I think
Looks
he's gonna
like
walk past another ward there.
whilst we have a hot second, I'll just confirm I'm synced up with you there, Mr. Django. I've got 38, 39, 40. How you doing?
I'm on 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. You might just have to pause for 2
And
seconds.
there we are. We are synced up. Thank you
Love to
very
see it.
much, good sir. Alrighty. So
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Alright, we'll stay on top of it. Yeah, Dave just letting us know that he's not going to be able to show us any items for this game. Sorry about that, guys. We'll definitely have that fixed by the next round of games, next day of games. We're seeing a
don't
little...
you stress though. We'll keep you up to date. We'll give you all the goods and business on that one.
Yeah,
sure.
we do love our builds. We've been all over it lately, so don't worry about that. We'll get that covered. We've seen a couple little skirmishes mid lane, a little bit of trading, but otherwise there's not too much going on. It looks like Vice started her blue buff just to avoid, getting seen in the red buff ward. And so the junglers are actually going to be inverse. We can expect them both to take a scuttle here each, and let's pray for a gank each as well. It should be good to see.
It is looking pretty even. So this game, it's not a lot going on. There's not a lot going on. Cannon's putting on pressure. Cho'Gath's coming down the half hill, but he doesn't mind that. He gets a lot of regen through his passive.
Kane is pathing up top here, actually. I'm expecting to see him go spectral through this wall. Yep, the Q was hit on Bin Laden. He's been caught out. He's really slowed on his movement speed. That's his only form of escape here.
This should be a flash.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a flash.
And the respect.
Nice flash, dude. Kane held his W there and didn't, go for an additional slow. He was going to wait for maybe the flash early or something. But in the end, yeah, Bin Laden having to flash the knockout from Cho'Gath. So good flash, respecting. He held his flash as long as he needed to. He's going to TP right back to lane, not miss a beat. Kane walking over a ward, so he doesn't know he's here. But Vi taking an interesting fight here. Malix can't get to him right here, but I suppose she's not going to die just that quick.
Overall, Kane looking for the top lane over the mid lane. You can kind of guess maybe he potentially be looking for blue.
Yeah,
Cannon
right.
is the actual range, so he's going to be feeding that blue essence to him for his passive for the blue transformation. Potentially, he might be looking for a more damage-centric build here.
Yeah, I think he'll have enough damage in the late game. I think Varus will put out enough, and Red Kane is like, he just lives so long that he will just output so much damage. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Me too. Me too.
He gets blue from Cannon and red from Nocturne, which is pretty interesting. So it'll have to be a lot more Nocturne ganks if that's the way he's leaning towards.
It should be a very aggressive early game from the Kane. He's going to want to look to start proccing his passive early. Malix and the...
Corruption, yeah. Just having some nice little scraps. And Kane's running around in their jungle. I don't think he realized that Vi took the full clear. Alright, that's what it's going to be. It's the cleanse flash blown from Greedo. Just now realizing that Greedo's opted for cleanse this game rather than heal, and Leona has taken exhaust rather than ignite. So perhaps they were just kind of planning to concede this early game and just try and survive as long as they can to just let Virus scale up.
I like this setup from the bot lane with Greedo and Vyacinth here.
Yeah,
I like it.
Vyacinth?
Excuse me, good support, sir, there. Don't take offense to that one there. Love your name. I love the defensive summoners that are coming in, there's a lot of ridiculous dive CC damage coming in. Both of these summoners going to be a really important role in the late game in terms of keeping Greedo alive. It's really going to play down to whether they can actually use those correctly or not, if they can hold up here.
Oh, Corruption blowing his flash, he's totally respecting the Viking. He would have been knocked up and feared there, so a nice flash from him too. He's already used his TP, so both summoners down for him. Akatsuki going for another gank, but Bin Laden's got the ult. That's just it. Akatsuki throwing out the W this time. He's got no flash. He's queuing forward, and Cho'Gath is gonna get the eat. That's the first stack of the game. First blood. Exactly what you want in your Cho'Gath. He's gonna come back to this lane so tanky. He's gonna shove this lane in and just start stacking up. It's so important to get those early eats on Cho'Gath because it just means you have so much more time later to. He's basically guaranteed 7 stacks at this point because he has 6 free eats on small minions and monsters.
Most
so
certainly there.
it's going to be big for him to keep getting this
we've got the blue side coming into the dragon, taking it early, secured quite easily from Spotter. Not even contested.
Yeah,
coming to the bot side.
Malik's coming back in, but he's in too deep. He's gonna go down. They get Varus, but Malik's flashing out with his life. Frog Spotter's here as well. Gonna catch Viren's Synth, and Superman hitting a super crucial Q there. He might have died anyway to the Vi Q, but just perfect to go down. But he's gonna give up his life and go down to the Kane. Just a bloodbath in the bot lane. Super unfortunate there. Greedo and Avian Smith going down. Just for the return of Superman, I believe. I think everyone else might have lived that. Did Caitlyn die? Yeah, oh no, Caitlyn lived as well. Yeah, so it was just the Nautilus that went down. So a preferable trade for the side of Casuarina Gentlemen.
Fantastic there. And we can see from Kane coming out as well, we do have the Iron Spike whip. So we can definitely tell he's definitely going to be going red Kane this game. You're not going to be going Iron Spike whip on blue Kane there. You would definitely be going for Dusk Blade. So we'll definitely be seeing a tank Kane. So all damage we're expecting is going to be coming out of the Varus. Greedo is the one to watch out for here.
Yeah, I think that's well placed too. I think late game Virus will just be able to output so much damage, and Kane just doesn't die. And if he gets ahead, he gets some, of those 80 items, he'll just still be doing so much damage, he'll be healing for so much that I think they should be able to play these fights really well. At the very least, Kane should be able to clean up at the very end, so we'll see how that goes. Kane going for the famed double buff clear. I love to see that. People playing that champ to its absolute maximum capability. Farming up a storm. Malik's going for a little fear in the mid lane.
Bin
Laden's here as well. He's got the ulti and he's dropping it. Corruption's going to go down. But the TP is coming from Cho'Gath.
This could be big.
The Nocturne goes down.
Coming in quick.
He's hit the knock up too. They don't know Vi's there. Everybody's here. It's Smash Bros, baby. Everybody's here. Unfortunate. It was a good TP from Cho'Gath. I think that was the right play from him, but unfortunately Vi was just clearing her top side at the time and was able just to meet for that fight there, and she's gonna go straight towards that Herald.
Counter ganks on counter ganks didn't stand a chance. They had the opportunity to throw in more TPs than they did, and they won out because of that.
Interestingly, we can see Kane's just pinged in the chat that Shadow Assassin is ready for him, and he's got 4 minutes to wait for Darken. So we'll be waiting a little bit to see his transformation, I think. It won't be online just yet, but you can bet when he does come online, yeah, he will be doing lots. The taunt coming out early from Corruption. He hit the knock-up, and they both tanked so many shots there. They're both just going to live with their lives. Super unfortunate.
They're the kind of ganks that,
yeah, Kane needs to be there for those counter ganks. As soon as you see that Nocturne, when you're on voice comms, Corruption can say, yep, he's coming mid. Akatsuki should be there straight away to fight that. Conditioner throwing the ulti out, but Corruption's going to live on 10 HP. Maybe he doesn't realize how close they are. And Akatsuki's going to throw the ulti just to try and get away. He's flashing away with the Nautilus ult on top of it. I think he lives
Oh,
just. It was a really nice
oof.
ulti just to survive that and flashed away from the Nautilus ult so he wouldn't get knocked up right away. Nicely played from Akatsuki, but yeah, I think he
Yes,
got caught
yes,
out to
yes.
begin with, so he needs to watch his position a little bit when he's coming for these lane ganks.
Definitely, the conductors of this game are definitely at this point both Malex Bin Laden as well as Akatsuki, and I would say Corruption. Definitely people to keep your eyes on here. Moving about, I'm very interested to see where Galio's going to place his first ultimate here.
Yeah, well, he
Oh,
did throw that ulti bot lane, which yeah got the most kills to
excuse
begin
me,
with. But
second ultimate.
yeah, that's right, and he it seems to be getting counter like camped a little bit as well. So maybe they're quite afraid of Corruption. No, he's probably the power player in their team. I just want to chuck it over to the chat. We've got 28 people back, even after all our stream issues.
God
So
bless.
just want to say thanks to everyone coming back. Thanks for sticking around. Should be an exciting last game for us.
He's coming
We're
in.
just seeing the Heralds go down here, and Frog Spotter getting stunned up by
You know,
Leona.
still has the ultimate. Will she fish for it? There it is.
He's going to throw it on the Nautilus, but can they capitalize? No, he's just going to flash away and Q to the wall
Uh,
out to safety. Unfortunate. It seems like FF just don't have what it takes to, you know, finish
Dragon
anything
is
off at the moment.
just coming up as well. You are certainly right there. There's tons of CC coming up from both teams. Really not able to find a grip on the opportunity either side.
Yeah, very nicely. They've just seen the ward get dropped in the pit, so they're just going to drag it out and force a commit from Casuarina Gentleman, and they're not even going to contest. They're just going to stick around and see if there's any lingerers, but going to give that one up, it seems.
Alright. Objectives off the map. We got towers up, objectives down. Where are we expecting them to move? Do you think it's going to be the top lane? Do you think it's going to be the bottom lane? Where is it?
I think for Frog Spotter, he probably wants to be getting on the top lane. He probably wants to be getting this cannon just a little bit more damage. But in terms of FF, I think they want to see some more Galio ults bottom lane. They really
Yeah.
need to get, like we were saying before, the only real damage sources are going to be mainly Varus and a little bit from Kayn as well. So they really need to start putting this Varus ahead so he's actually relevant when these team fights come. Can't just have him sitting back and throwing, you know, a few abilities to do nothing.
Rockspot
Voxbot have
getting
been
chunked.
absolutely chunked. He copped the
Catch
ulti and it's
you
gonna die
later,
solely
sir.
to Kayn.
Alright.
Solo bolo. Kayn is shilling, baby. Let's go.
20 minutes in the sin bin. We'll see you back then. Hot tamales. Alright, as you're mentioning there.
Tamales.
Yeah, Greedo only damage really in terms of like consistent hard chunk coming out here. Galio may be building AP, but he's just definitely not going to have the kind of absolute pop that Greedo is going to be able to put out here. Greedo is only 200 away off getting Duskblade in terms of gold there, so I'm expecting to see this bot lane really explode within the next 3 minutes here, and the game accelerate then onwards. Kane's already got his blue to... here we go, Malik's in the mid lane.
The spectators just taking us away, directed camera. There's fights happening on all sides of the map. Cho'Gath is having a nice chunk here. It looks like nothing came of mid. Kayn is still hanging around, and Corruption's just lived on a little bit of HP there. But I think with the presence of Kayn just lingering, there's not much that can go on there. Just wondering, is Kayn? I think Kayn actually has gone for his.
Is that the blue? It's the blue.
Yeah, he's gone blue rather than red. He's
Blue.
instead of the
Interesting.
darken. Yeah, I guess he just got it. I'm not too sure when he got it. I actually didn't notice with that skin because that skin is actually so sick. But yeah, I suppose he must have just picked that up because it was up and just needed to snowball as soon as he can, which explains why he chunked Vi with so much damage just in our last fight before.
If we take a look at the CS here, there's a huge difference between the jungles here. There's a almost 30 CS difference between both Vi and Kayn. And it's starting to show here in Kayn's proactiveness in getting around the map. He seems to be able to clear his jungle pretty quickly and then absolutely come out. and get the
Yeah, it's
job done.
just that Goldust probably going to play a big impact in these next coming fights. Considering that he has committed to Blue Cane, he really wants to get as much gold as he can now, so he can be the assassin that he's set himself up to be. Interesting what he's going to do with that Iron Spike Whip, because he's picked up lethality after that. So I'm not quite sure about what that builds into. We'll have to see where that comes from.
I'm
Top
probably going to
lane,
be seeing a stride breaker out of that one. I would be imagining for the slow. I don't think. Oh,
yeah, and I
excuse me for
suppose
not
it's still.
knowing the variant, but I can't remember. I don't think he'll be going for the more tanky option here, most
Yeah,
certainly.
well, Gore Drinker is the other Iron Spike item, which you usually build for Red Cane, so
Yeah.
maybe he built that before he realized that he was going to have to wait 4 minutes for Blue Cane. So yeah, that'll be interesting to keep in mind, see where that comes from. The first couple of items are starting to come in from top lane. Obviously, Cannon picking up that Hextech Proto Belt and Cho'Gath going for the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Tier 1 tower going down first of the game there. Interestingly enough, I thought it would be going the other direction. I thought Cannon would have been taking the advantage there.
Yeah, I think Cho'Gath has really just been playing a great lane against him. He's got a CS lead against the ranged poke matchup against Cho'Gath, so that's just super powerful for him. I guess it's gotten to the point where if they are in lane together, if Cho'Gath knocks Cannon up, it's basically game over. When he gets slowed by the E and by the Frostfire Gauntlet, he's probably not going to make it very far without blowing his flash, so it looks like he forfeited a bit of CS there.
Keeping an eye on this one. Definitely looking to see Malex and Corruption. Both ultimates are up here. I think they're going to be the ones dictating how the pace of this game goes further in terms of movement. They're the ones that can cross-map, globally move with their ultimates.
Yeah, they're jigging this one out for the Drake. I don't think they're going to come over and commit. Yeah, Corruption's pending, trying to see if they'll get it, but nothing coming.
Nice secure.
I don't know if you noticed what I noticed, but Corruption has actually picked up a level 11, not even his first item into the game, and he's got the Elixir of Iron as he
Elixir
walks
of
around the
Iron.
weapon. Yeah, which is super interesting. Obviously, you can't buy that elixir until you are level 9. Typically, you don't get it until you're like, it's going to be the last fight in the game, or you're like full build, you have one slot left or something. So really interesting to see it come out this early. Excuse me though, Frogspot is coming in bot lane for a huge ulti against Beyond Smith, and they're gonna pick up that kill and give it over to Conditioner. So super important for that Caitlyn, who's starting to fall off, to pick up even a little bit more damage there. Virus making it out with his life. He did blow his flash for that one as well. So.
Just to give a shout out to Kyle and Finn there in the chat. Unfortunately, we are having technical issues with the streamer PC currently with the scoreboard. No items or gold available for your viewing pleasure at the minute, but we can tell you that Red Side has a gold lead in every lane but the mid and ADC role.
What's happening? Kennan's going in with the big ulti here. He tried to stun Kian Smith up, but unfortunately weren't able to kill him before the Herald went down. I can't see. It looks like Vi did manage to pick it up, so she got the smite steal over the Cho'Gath ulti, unfortunately. He wasn't able to snag that one, which is a bit unfortunate. That's one that Cho'Gath should probably win every time. He does 1,000 damage smite to any monster for free, which is more than any jungler's smite now, when it only goes up to 900, I believe, since the changes the last couple patches. So unfortunate that he missed that. I guess the ulti just wasn't up, but it did go on cooldown, so maybe he tried to ult one of the, maybe the jungler or something, and didn't quite get it off. Just
provided their comms are clear, they are easily able to achieve a 1600 smite duo between themselves there. Every objective really should be theirs as long as their comms are tight.
Yeah, Kane's really pacing it around. He gets so much move speed with that blue Kane when he moves through those walls. It's so terrifying. But yeah, nothing gonna come. They dropped the Herald top lane, didn't get the tower, so not the best use of it, but I guess they were, thought they would get a bit more. Thankfully they had FF had a couple players to spare to send up top lane and kind of fend that off.
Fantastic there. We're seeing Greedo finish off his Duskblade. Caitlyn's finishing off the Gale Force Stride Breaker on the Nocturne. We're seeing Divine Sundera on the Vi. I'm not very familiar with Vi and her current build at the moment. Not sure if that's actually meta or not, but
Yeah,
I'm sure that will keep her alive when definitely slamming heads
that's
with
it.
both the
I
Cho'Gath and
don't see
Galio.
why not. Like, it's typically, I think she builds Eclipse or something to get like a nice fatter
Yeah.
shield when her passive procs, but
Her
I
team has
think
more than enough damage to really
yeah.
carry that spectrum
So
of
I
the
think
team.
Thunder is not even bad. When she's using those E's, she's gonna have some like really strong empowered E's. I actually really like it. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on and see how much she's healing for and how much damage she's actually dealing with that one. We'll keep you guys updated. The bot lanes are just picking up their first mythics now as well. So Caitlyn's gone for the Gale Force and Varus has gone for the Duskblade. Interestingly enough. Does Varus get a lot of use out of the Duskblade, or is that just
It
because it's the
is.
lethality build?
I
Or
tell you what, that is absolutely nasty.
and Superman going down. He's just been caught by the Galio taunt.
Dying.
Yeah,
The
that's
game.
the Kane, blue Kane for you. If he finds you on the map all alone, yeah, you bet you wish you had your friends. Looks like
Coming back to your point there, Duskblade is an absolutely disgusting item, especially on the Varus there. Even on ARAM, 85% reduction, or 85% of his normal damage there on his Qs and his damage. You're seeing an absolute chunkage come out on these squishy picks. You know, we're seeing Cannon, no real squishy, no real tank build there. Vi is going for a more tank build, a little bit of armor, but I'm expecting Caitlyn and Nocturne to have a struggle with the damage output coming from the poke there. I'm really expecting a more laid back and anti-dive style from FF here, and then the re-engage with the Kane once they back off.
yeah, looks like they're probably gonna give this dragon up again. It's just kind of been a common reoccurrence for this game. Our games tonight have been absolutely like insane, wild, most chaotic games. Oh, it looks like Corruption might get caught out here. He's gonna get stunned up by the cannon, but the whole team is there to back him up. But the Vi ulti's coming down. It's actually being blown up. Bin Laden's dropping the ulti, and it looks like Akatsuki might be the last one standing. There's the Nautilus ult to knock him out of the wall too. He's gonna go down as well and give away that big shutdown.
Beautifully stringing together their CC there just to absolutely put them down.
And they're just going straight to Baron.
An absolute chance. They are.
They're not wasting a moment. They don't have the mid tower yet, but they said, nah, don't even care. They're going to go straight to the Baron. The Varus and the Cho'Gath is up. There's a blast cone there for the Cho'Gath, which is super important. He has a possibility to redeem himself for that Herald earlier. I wonder if he's going to take that and go over. His flash is coming up shortly too, so maybe he's just going to go in with that, or they're just going to give it up. They're pushing around the corner now. In comes the knockdown ult, so they can't see anything. Slight
advantage by 300 damage. Could be Cho'Gath here taking it. Cho'Gath going in. Cho'Gath wants it. Cho'Gath wants it.
He can kill it. He needs to turn around. He used the ulti, so he can't finish it off actually. But FF are actually coming away with the fight here. They've picked up 3 after
sheer tank of FF just pushing through.
Unlucky. Casuarina gentlemen just not quite with the right call there. They went mid lane. They should have gone mid lane and taken that mid tower for sure. They needed more of that space on the map and, you know, being able to pressure in their jungles a bit more, but they just went straight for the Baron. At least it was a quick, and, you know, they made the decision like snap and they all went, but there was just not big enough death timers at this stage in the game that the rest of the team was just able to get there in time, especially with the Cho'Gath eat. You have to be really scared of him flashing the pit and just eating your buff, because if you give that Baron over at that state of the game, it could be all over for a big feed like that.
Yeah, most certainly that we're seeing here that FF have been putting in the work, getting early to Dragon there. They're already up to 3 dragons. Next one is going to be in 2.5 minutes. They're feeling comfy. They don't really care if the next 2 dragons go. If anything, there they have an 8% damage lead by default, just due to the dragons coming in, and that's not it. That's scaling into the late game here. They're sitting pretty comfy.
Yeah,
The
as I
gold is
was,
looking pretty standard Eve as well.
that's what I was trying to explain before we had those 3 die mid, and it looks like we have some more. Look at the ganks on. Our conditioner doesn't know. He needs to be very wary. Yeah, he's just gonna walk back from here. This has been our closest game of the night by far. The gold is super even. The only kind of difference is that I think CG are kind of giving up more of the team fights. They're just like scared of the overall power of FF. Which is kind of hard to say because the game is so even right now. It's hard to tell who would win. So I
Most
want to know from the
certainly there.
chat. I want chat to hype it up. Let us know. Give us your predictions. Dave's given out some rewards at the end of this game to some lucky streamers. So let us know your predictions. Get involved. Who's getting away with this win? It's all tied up at the moment.
Yeah, at this point here, it was very reminiscent of the Destiny game earlier with their counterpart, except yeah, there's not a whole lot of macro push from CG here. I really want to see them start pushing out these side lanes, really start trying to fish more in the jungle, start trying to push out that vision, start trying to see where they can pull the advantage. They're still behind here. They're not leading in gold. They're not leading in objectives. They need to start looking for something before this game's gone.
Yeah, it's such a tough spot. I think they really need to focus this dragon pressure. With drag coming up so soon, it looks like FF might actually just get another free one. They've just given up all the other dragons before this and, you know, not even really bothered to fight. They're just like, oh, we kind of got to give. We can't fight this one.
CG are ready to contest. They're going in.
This one you have to fight for. And they've caught Akatsuki out. The Galio ulti is coming in to knock up all of Casuarina Gentlemen on the back. And a huge fight breaking up. I think FF are breaking out with the lead for this one.
CG are getting deleted.
FF just cleaning up. They've traded 2 for 1 so far. Nocturne is kind of stuck in the back, but the Dragon is the most pressing issue here. If they walk away to chase the Nocturne, they're going to give up the Dragon Soul. I think they're just going to try and force it here. Caitlyn needs to hold her abilities right now if they have any hope of trying to save this one. If they get Dragon Soul, I think that's going to be the game diff, honestly. The gold is just like too close that it's, you know, Soul makes such a big difference in these fights. When everyone has, you know, similar items and similar strength, getting bursted by a nice Dragon Soul proc is just gonna mean like the whole difference. And it's such an early Soul too at 28 minutes, so really got to give that up to Akatsuki for having great pressure on his objectives here. He's one-shotting the Caitlyn. He found her solo farming in the lane.
A demonstration of exactly what you could do with the Dragon Soul there. They were already chunky enough throughout their entire team. They've got 3 tanks through and through, 3 big boys, and adding on a ridiculous 12% extra damage with an explosive pop on a damage ability or auto attack. It is just not looking good for CG here at all.
It looks like FF are starting to path back towards that Baron. They've got 3 there, but the bot lane's just going to go for the wave and try and shove that out, which is a bit dangerous for Kane and Cho'Gath, who are now currently invading the jungle because there's 5 of them bot side at the moment. I think FF need to back off here before they get picked out.
Certainly there. If you were in Bin Laden's shoes right now, Mr. Django, what would you be looking for from CG? Where would you be directing the team? What are we looking for? Where is it? Where's the win?
It's such a tricky one. Kane is doing so much work. Truly, Akatsuki is probably having his best game to date. He's just playing really well. He's been getting all the kills he needs, and I think he needs to get shut down so carries actually have a chance of playing this game. That's where the ulti needs to go, but you really just need the big team fight ulti. They should have been going in earlier. Yeah, big fights breaking out in the river. I think, yeah. Oh, Corruption just ulting away to safety. Out. Yeah, very nice ult, just getting back with the team there. But Kethalis getting caught by the Nautilus hook, and it's all breaking down. The Cannon ult's coming out, stunning everyone up.
FF are low, but CG could be overstepping.
Yes, or CG are trying
Corruption
to do
low,
it, but
support
all
low,
they have
Greedo
is the
low.
Nocturne. The single target damage on the Nocturne just isn't enough. CG
Not
is
able to
so
find a
low, it was
finish.
such a good fight, but they just didn't have the damage to get ahead. And look, that's honestly got to come down to just the diff between Caitlyn and Varus at the moment. Varus is just like scaling so much stronger, and Caitlyn's kind of hitting her like really weak mid game where it's just only doing damage if she's like headshotting every attack, and it's just becoming more and more detrimental here. There's a 4K gold lead that's come out on the side of FF at the moment, and they're kind of leaning towards that Baron, which could probably be a game ender with the Dragon Soul.
Certainly, the damage lead that FF have with their current Dragon Soul is just ridiculous. It makes it incredibly hard for CG to even contest in terms of poke comps. Greedo's already got the Dragon Soul with his Qs out there with a Dust Blade to poke. He is going to be half healthing the squishies quite easily here. It's really difficult for CG to find even a remote angle to try and contest this game at all.
With that Baron going down, I can't help but feel like that's just gonna be it. Like, just look at the size of this Cho'Gath. If that doesn't tell you about just like the difference and how these fights are playing out, I don't know what will. I can see in the chat that a few of the boys, Chris Strider's not too happy that Cho'Gath's not nomin on all the objectives, but instead it looks just he is 10 stacks in at the moment. He's just been nomin on all of his enemies, and he's huge because of it. He's such a big frontline presence at the moment that Varus is just getting a lot of room to try and beat him up here.
If we go and actually break down Cho'Gath for the people in chat who cannot see his build currently, we actually have what do we have here? Excuse me. Gargoyle Stoneplate, Frostfire Gauntlet, Thorn Mail, and Plated Steel Caps. He is one chunky mofo. He is not going to die, even if you want to make it so.
That's it. When you look on the enemy team, look at FF's team. Oh, and it looks like, oh no.
Oh,
it
dear.
looks like Vi's been caught out farming. Just unfortunate. It's those leads that, sorry, those picks that are just going to keep losing you the game. And Akatsuki's found Conditioner all alone. He missed the W, but he's just going to blue smite. Oh, you're dead. He did maybe get the base trap prediction, but
it is the team comp diff coming in super strong here. FF did lay the groundwork early. They did take the dragons there early, and it is basically given them the cement to walk anywhere on the map and dominate anyone they want.
That's right. They can just take what they want when they want right now. And I can expect to probably see them just ARM it pretty soon. Just pick a lane, run it down, and I think they just still win these fights so hard. Kennen is really the only threat. Other than that, I just don't see this Cho'Gath dying at the moment. Leona's got a bunch of resistances too, so she's not really dying either. It's not looking good.
I just want to comment. 15 seconds. This could be it here. If they lose this dragon, this will be game over.
Yeah, of course. With the Elder Dragon coming up, that's the most GG in the game. It's Baron, Elder Drake, Baron with 3 inhibs. It's they're the rules, man. If they get they're kind of walking away from this Elder Drake though.
This is it. Galio's on the flank. They're looking for it. Cho'Gath should be walking into this.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to bait them into an engage in the jungle. But yeah, I don't think CG are actually going to bite. They're kind of pushing them towards this Galio. They don't know Galio is in the bush here.
Doesn't care.
Ready? Here goes Galio. Oh, he's got the sweet engage in and a huge taunt. It's just going to get him. The Kennen ult is just doing nothing to that giant Cho'Gath. The Vi ult coming out, it's not going to be enough. She's going down too, and everyone's
trying to do damage, nowhere near enough to even compensate.
This Cho'Gath is massive, bro.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Look at him going. Corruption in forward with the dunk onto the Caitlyn. And
And this could be it, looking to finish through the bottom lane.
it's got to be the game, right? They've got this Cho'Gath. Surely he can just tank these. Yeah, he's taking no damage from his towers. Huge chunks coming out. They are super low. No one's... Nautilus is up in 13 seconds. Cannon's up in 10 seconds.
Unfortunately, we are
Fire's up in
seeing
10
a
seconds.
10k gold difference at this point after that fight. It is pretty much done, dusted. Timers are not going to matter at this point. 2 seconds,
Cho'Gath's
1
back with the
second.
TP,
Not going to
so...
happen.
Yeah, they're going to end this game. They're super low, so it could have been an overstay from FF here, but no, Cho'Gath is just giant. He will not stop.
GG. What a game.
Super close game. Really well played by FF. They just like did everything they needed to. Unfortunately, Casuarina Gentlemen just gave up too many objectives, and I really think it was all the Drakes that came down to be the difference in that one.
Absolutely. They laid the groundwork and they put the investment in. They bided their time, they had the chunkier build, and then they secured the damage for it. You can't guess that you're gonna get the Infernal Dragon, but when it came through, they went for it and they secured it. And that is ultimately what saw them through. Even without that, potentially that they had the stronger macro. They were always there. They were always securing the vision. They were always securing the priority in the mid lane, the bot lane, to go and secure that dragon. So I'm not surprised that FF have taken it this one today.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because the game truly was like so close the whole way through. It was really like it's just unfortunate. I think they didn't quite play their team comp the way they needed to. I think Bin Laden really needs to be in there with more of the engages. Like he's got his Zonias. He had that by the second item. If he's just going in, stunning up the team Zonias, and then you're just getting the Nautilus ult and the Nocturne ult in there. Like at that point, I feel like they just win those team fights. But I guess they just couldn't find the right angles and couldn't pull it off without Bin Laden getting one shot or something. So honestly, it's a GG to FF. They've really shown up and been playing such a tough game. So shout out to them.
What a great game. What a great game. It
If we're
was quite
talking,
close. It was quite
yeah,
close.
that's it. Like we said, it really came down to just like objective difference, and for that alone, I think Akatsuki deserves MVP this game. But like even beyond that, he just played great. Like he had so many important ganks top lane. He had a few counter ganks. He
Yep.
got caught out and then lived like more often than not. I think he was really the overwhelming presence on the side of
Even
FF
then,
that
I think a
got
hot
them the win.
contender would be Kelthalas on the Cho'Gath. Honestly, there, he did not die once,
Yeah,
and he
that's
did
true.
his
It is
role
the perfect game.
immaculately. He was a wall that you could not cross. He said, "Hey, I'm moving forward, and you're not coming up," and that was it. They could not do anything against that, and that defined every fight. Every fight.
Yeah, that's true. When he got to that stage where he was just like so big, and it just like couldn't be killed, he got kind of low towards the end of the last team fight. But like even then, he was still taking tower. He had so much health left. He really wasn't concerned. I think he was a big presence too, but I think it even his lead kind of came from Akatsuki. Akatsuki just getting like some really important ganks in on the cannon, blowing cannon summoners really early, and then coming back while the flash is still down was just like so important for those guys.
Yeah, it. What a game. I think this was a much closer game than the one we saw with Destiny earlier there. It rode up line for line right up until the 15-20 minute mark. We saw no more than a 5k deficit between the teams there before it really started to get out of hand there for FF to take the win. So great
Yeah,
viewing pleasure there.
yeah, out of all our games, it was the least chaotic. At least we got a chance to breathe tonight, right? That was pretty nice. But yeah, the game was super close, and that's just showing the teams are having a bit more respect for each other, and they're keeping the games tight. But it's just the little things that Casuarina gentlemen still have to work on, like getting this dragon pressure early, beating FF to the punch, and maybe getting picks before those objectives come up, or at least trading on the other side of the map. Like when it got to the point where they weren't contesting, at least have two people, three people top lane taking towers or something and pushing in him. Otherwise, yeah, that exact situation folds out.
Exactly there. Thank you to Phoenix as well for bringing up the damage graph as well. Taking a look at that just to really give a different perspective of the game. Actually, interesting enough,
Ellie,
Galio putting out the most damage here. I really didn't see that coming. I expected big damage from the Cho'Gath because he was going to be in the front there, always going to be brawling with people, but didn't expect uh yeah, didn't expect the Galio to be putting out anywhere near as much of a lead in the damage graph as much as that. Expected a far lot more from the Greedo uh Varus pick there.
yeah, that's right.
Everything on the
Unfortunately,
blue
it's a bit
side seems
lackluster.
pretty standard as well from
Yeah, it's
CG.
kind of what we expected. It was, they're kind of coming out and just trying to stun as many people as you can, and Nocturne, just ulting in. He was usually the last to live in those fights, just maybe because they knew they could burst him down reasonably quick if they needed to. But yeah, unfortunately, Caitlyn and Vi just like not having enough impact in that game. I think Caitlyn, she did
Yeah.
some moderate damage, but it was nothing significant enough to win any of those team fights, unfortunately.
I think having the rough game with the lack of gold potentially might have funneled her into the Kraken Slayer, into the Phantom Dancer, even though that may have been what she could have afforded at the time. Maybe would have liked to have seen the Gale Force and the Infinity Edge coming out there just to try and with what she's got there with the Kraken Slayer and the Phantom Dancer, she just wasn't able to compete anywhere near to what Greedo was doing
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Corruption with the damage output. And unfortunately, yeah, Bin Laden had to pick up the slack.
All right. So if we're talking MVP, who are you thinking? You're thinking Cho'Gath? I'm thinking
I
Caitlyn.
personally think Cho'Gath has a presence you could not ignore this game. I think Akatsuki definitely worked the map. He was all over the place. You got to give respect to that. That is undeniable. But I think that the most rock solid piece of equipment that FF had going on this series here was definitely the Cho'Gath. He
All right.
was
You know what? Yeah,
right on the front.
I can actually concede it. I think come the end of the game, if Cho'Gath wasn't the giant, huge tank that he was in that game, maybe it wouldn't have gone that direction that we thought it would.
Mm.
So yeah, super stoked to give that away to the Cho'Gath. If we're talking about second most valuable player, who are you
Coming in for
thinking from the side of
CG, I
CG?
think that Bin Laden played his heart out. I think that there were a lot of times that were coming in pretty clutch, where it could have been a lot closer
Yeah, that's right. And some of
with
those
his
ultis were
ultimates.
huge. And yeah, unfortunately, he didn't get enough gold to really get steamrolling. But
Yep.
I think, yeah, at the very least, I think he had the most impact in the team fights. And
His stats don't reflect that in terms of the kills and in terms of his assists. But I certainly think that in terms of his team fights, locking down everybody certainly played a huge role in giving the team the chance that they had to at least try and fight back in the team fights there. I think a honorable mention would definitely be Malek's. He was constantly hounding, finding something, alting, if even if it was nothing, just alting people
yeah,
just for the
at
sake of
least like,
trying to bring out an advantage.
yeah, just to make like anything happen. Yeah, agreed. Big shout out to Malex as well. But yeah, I'm happy to give that over to Bin Laden for SVP.
So, guys, who was the names of the MVP and SVP?
So we're giving MVP away to Kelthalas on the Cho'Gath.
How do you spell his name there?
That's KELTHALAS.
Yeah, and
That's
SVP?
on the side of FF, and the SVP is going over to Bin Laden.
No worries.
Bin
Thank
Laden.
you. Well, thanks,
Good
guys.
game.
That was a great game. Very exciting. Very good display of League of Legends there.
Yes, super
Beautiful.
close.
Beautiful. And good to see FF. I think they've just made it on the board, have they? They've actually made it on the...
Yeah, I do believe that was their third game. I think they're playing another game this week.
FS
No,
loss,
maybe
yeah.
not.
Yeah,
But yeah, that
okay.
was only their second game because they had to FF the first game in the first week.
Ironically.
And obviously, they got destroyed by the Youngbloods last week. So yeah, good to see them actually
Hey.
come away with the
Uh,
big dub here. So
All
it'll be
right.
interesting to keep our eye on them. I think they could be a top team for sure.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully we don't have a full crash this time with me trying to do the spin wheel because it crashed when I was doing the spin wheel. I don't know if anything had to do with that. Too much awesomeness and caused the whole stream to crash. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I've
Yeah, too
compiled.
many giveaways.
Yeah, that's it. I've compiled some viewers that have been watching and have been tuning in and been interacting in the chat. So your name should be on the wheel. I even thrown you on there, Billy and Cameron. Just as
Thank you very much, sir.
just for good measure.
Jeez.
Just for good measure. You guys have been active in the chat as much as commentary, so why not? Anyway, without further
Did you
ado.
get that $10 I PayPal'd you? Or
Shh, no. All right, here we go. Spinning the wheel.
in that wheel?
Hopefully we don't get a crash this time, guys.
Spin to win. Spin to win.
Who's it gonna be? Oh, I just missed you, Billy.
No.
Oh, we have Bill.
Don't tell me it's Theater Zoe.
It's Theater Zoe.
Ah.
Congratulations.
GG Theater Zoe, bro.
And
I
what did
guess you
she
get it this
win?
time.
Let's see. Oh, is it a he or a she? I don't know. I can't assume.
That's a he. That's a he.
He, okay.
That's a legend. That's a legend.
That's my teammate. That's my ace in the mid lane.
All right, so let's see what he has won. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, you can't go wrong.
What could it be? What could
It is
be?
a free Paul's iced coffee. Now, I've only put it as one. That's
Yeah.
You'll
Now-
actually be stoked about that.
Yeah, now it says one, but if I do have if I can spare a couple, you will get a couple. Okay, so I'm just saying one for now, just in case I run out quickly. But the expiry on them's like next week, so I do have to get them out.
Thanks, Jay. I'll take one of those.
So yeah, if I need to give you more, I will. So there's a good chance I'll give you a couple. No esky at the moment, although I am trying to talk to see if I can get an awesome Paul's iced coffee one. That would be pretty sick. Maybe do it as like a I don't know, a bigger prize or something. We'll sort
Yeah, that
something
would
out
be
there.
sick. Get me
But,
involved with that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you don't have the form, I think I did put the form in. I'll just chuck it in one more time. One sec, guys.
Go do the form.
Make sure you do the form because that will help me keep tabs on who's won, and it just a few basic information: who you are, what you did win, yeah, and so we can just get your prize to you and sort it out. That's pretty much all it is. Otherwise, it'd be like last season where I was like, who won a prize? Don't know.
Yeah, trying to keep track of it all, and everyone's a different
Yeah,
stage.
That's it.
Yeah.
No worries,
All
Theater
right.
Zoe. But yeah, hey,
Theater Zoe, yeah.
thanks everyone for tuning in. These guys have
Yeah.
been awesome. Give it up for to Django and what's your name?
Dirty
Gator.
Gator blood.
Dirty Gator Blood. What?
Yeah,
Dirty Gator.
The Dirty Gator. Wow, no, very very nice, man. I got to say I'm impressed. Sounded very professional. That's for the first cast. Man,
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
did really well.
That was his first time casting a game at all, so yeah,
You
you did a great job,
serious?
Cam. Keep it up. You'll be
Wow.
back for sure.
Hey, thanks,
Wow,
mate.
we'll say
Yeah,
about
I'll
that.
see you before long.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
first
sure.
string
for sure.
bloods, make me in there. Yeah, come on,
Yeah,
coach.
let's go. Let's go.
You actually sound
Just-
like this is a compliment. You actually sound like a more tame Jackson. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Whoa! I hope Jack's still listening.
Yeah.
Job's up.
He's,
Up on
no,
the
no, no,
line.
no. I mean that as a compliment. Jackson's a really good caster. It's just he's a very similar styles, I'd say, in your articulate
Yeah,
casting.
definitely.
I've been working call center for like 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
So if I can't talk, then I don't have a job.
Dude, you're
So,
very very
hey,
clear.
I'm
That's
where
what I
I'm
mean.
meant to
That's-
be.
Yeah, because Jackson's a lot like that as well. Sorry, Cadius, I should say. He's very
Cadius.
Shout out Cadius.
very clear in his pronunciation of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good to see.
Just before we wrap up, I'll just run through some games coming up in the rest of the week. So on Saturday,
Please.
we got 3 more games. Some big ones coming out. So we got Jupy's Angels taking on Purple Cobras. Jupy's Angels are our reigning champs going up against Purple Cobras, who are one of the newer teams. I think they're currently sitting on the bottom of the ladder. Unfortunately, haven't picked up a win yet. they got a bit of a hard week because after they go against Jupies, they're then going to have to play against Destiny at 4 o'clock. So it'll be interesting to see those two teams get another dub on the board and see if Purple Cobras can improve and maybe take a step up and get a dub off one of these better teams. And then to wrap off the day, we have Casuarina Gentlemen, who we just saw play a great game against Jupiter's Angels, the top team. So we'll can't wait to see those. Make sure you tune in on Saturday
Spicy
for those
games
games.
to come.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, and I'll just do a quick little thing to our sponsors here. We got major sponsors: Territory Zone, Paul's Ice Coffee, celebrating their 60-year anniversary. 60 years! I cannot believe that. 60. No, it's not 16. That's 60. So big thank you to them once again for being on board and giving me some iced coffee to give to you guys, which I would definitely want to do. Northern Territory Government, great to have those guys on board. Of course, they are the government of the Northern Territory. Yeah, great to have them on board. The Macca's Darwin Group, McDonald's Darwin Group, being on board with us this year. Again, they've supported us a few seasons now, so thank you once again to them. And of course, the minor sponsors, I'll go through these quicker this time. We have Next Tier Entertainment, Serotonic Beauty, VR Gamers, Gammon Creations, Tracy Village, Howard Springs Tavern, The Rabbit Hole, Pallets of India, Fresh Point Cafe, John John's, Diamond Barbers, District North Kitchen, Wicked Energy, Joyce Main Darwin, Next Level Gym, and Bell Accounting NT. Hashtag support local. Go see them, order your food or services from these guys and claim your little 10% discount.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, there's actually so many discounts and so many, sponsors for us this year. We're actually getting so many benefits. So if you're playing in this tournament, even if you're watching, go check these guys out because they're just doing so much to help us out.
Yeah,
Cash them in. Stay fit.
That's
Don't be
it.
hungry. Get it. Go on. It's free. Go do it.
I don't know if it's free or not.
Discount. Go
Yeah,
get it.
look,
It's
we
yours.
got some things for free, but obviously we want to support the local businesses, so that's why the discount's not too crazy, but it's still enough to give you some incentive to go shop there. So we still want to support them. They still have wages to pay and things like that. So
Exactly right.
yeah, we got to keep them
That's
running. But yeah, it's great to have such a good lineup of sponsors this season. By the way,
Absolutely.
those that don't know, I was talking about Next Tier Entertainment before, how I run a few events. Now, if you do come to one of my events, it is listed on the website. If you do come to one of my events, say one of my karaoke gigs, and you are seen, and I do see you, I will shout you a drink of some sort. Like, I can't say if it's alcoholic or not, but I will shout you a drink. Maybe a Paul's Ice Coffee, because Tracy Village do have Paul's Ice Coffee there. I might shout you one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go get them iced coffees, people.
So I'll shout you something just for coming along and supporting that. You have my word. Just come see me. I'll find out if you're in the season, and you will definitely get something. Yeah, a bit of a thank you from me to you. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to the casters.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for sticking with us with the technical difficulties and stuff. Yeah, make sure you tune in on Saturday.
We'll see you then, Saturday.
See you then.
See you guys.